Welcome back to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. We begin today in Purdue, where their 2025 presidential election is experiencing an unprecedented political landscape, with a record 34 candidates deeply affecting the public discontent and political fragmentation. Nearly 90% of Peruvians expressed dissatisfaction with current political leadership, driving a surge of outsider candidates without traditional political backgrounds. The unprecedented candidacy surge represents a critical moment for Peruvian democracy, signaling a strong desire for systematic political change. From Reuters, quote, political discontent has been brewing in Peru for quite some time now, and the surge in presidential hopefuls for the next year's election is a testament to this simmering unrest, with staggering 34 candidates, end quote. Next, we travel across the Atlantic to Nigeria, where a devastating explosion occurred during evening prayers at a mosque in Maiduguri, causing significant casualties. The incident disrupted a peaceful worship gathering and shocked the local community. Emergency services quickly responded to the scene, but details about the victims and cause remain limited. From Reuters, quote, the evening gathering was meant to be a peaceful moment of reflection and prayer. Worshippers were just beginning to settle in their prayer mats when, without warning, the tranquility was shattered by a deafening blast. There was pandemonium as people scrambled for safety, some running outside, others seeking shelter behind the mosque's columns, end quote. Back across the Atlantic, we go to a story about the Bank of Canada, who is facing significant uncertainty regarding future interest rate decisions due to a mixed economics and their signals. Policymakers are carefully assessing current economic data, acknowledging that the path forward is not clear. The bank will remain data dependent, refraining from providing forward guidance and instead monitoring inflation, growth, unemployment, and consumer spending trends. From Reuters, quote, the minutes released from the December meeting of the Governing Council underscore the challenges faced by the Bank of Canada given the mixed economic signals. There is a recognition that each move needs to be meticulously weighed given its potential consequences on the broader economy, end quote. Next, we travel across the world to Myanmar, who has experienced significant political upheaval over the past decade, is now transitioning from potential democratic reform to military control following the 2021 coup. The military's seizure of power reversed a decade of progress towards civilian governance, creating ongoing internal conflicts and humanitarian challenges. Despite the international sanctions and pressure, the military regime has maintained its grip on power, leaving the country's future uncertain and politically unstable. From Reuters, quote, Myanmar's political trajectory over the last decade reflects a nation caught in a perpetual struggle between the aspirations for democracy and deep-rooted military control. Despite the resilience and determination of pro-democracy activists, the path to restoring democracy in Myanmar remains fraught with challenges. End quote. Next, we travel further south to Australia, who has revoked the visa of a British man after he allegedly displayed a Nazi symbol during a public event. This action demonstrates Australia's strict zero-tolerance policy towards hate symbols and expressions that could potentially incite racial or ethnic tensions. The government's swift response underscores its commitment to maintaining a diverse and harmonious multicultural society. From Reuters, quote, Australia has zero tolerance for symbols and signs that associate with hate groups, especially those glorifying the atrocities committed during the Holocaust, said an Australian government spokesperson. Quote, the cancellation of this individual's visa sends a clear message that our nation is committed to upholding a society that respects diversity and harmony among various communities, end quote. And finally, we end today in Europe, more specifically in Italy, where Italy's government successfully passed a confidence vote on the 2026 budget in the upper house of parliament, marking a significant milestone for Prime Minister Giorgio Meloni's administration. The budget includes strategic measures to reduce deficit, support economic growth, and address social welfare needs. This vote solidifies the government's economic policy direction and demonstrates Meloni's leadership in navigating complex fiscal challenges. From Reuters, quote, the Italian Senate voted in favor of a budget legislation with a 164 to a 138 majority, providing a clear mandate for our fiscal policies aimed at economic stabilization and growth. A senior government official representing the Maloney administration said, end quote. And with that, if you want to read any of today's articles, all of them will be linked in the description below that like and subscribe button. Also, there you can find the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podvine, as well as the Twitter handle, where I post links to these episodes Tuesday and Thursday, and the normal podcast that comes out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, more focused on U.S. politics. Also, Merry Christmas. This is going out on Christmas, so I hope, though it is a little bit late, if you care about the world's problems and you happen to be listening, thank you for joining me on this day. And if you have any story that resonates, if there's anything you can do about it, if there's a way to donate to help these people, it is that time. It is giving time. So, think it over. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Don't die.